Welcome, welcome, welcome to Garnetqueentarot, where we are inspired to rise. How my wonderful Aquarius family doing today? What's going on? What's on your mind? Not feeling a sense of tension. Wow, Aquarius, that's a big deal for you. A big deal. Let's see. There's a lot of times when we tune in automatically, you can feel like there's some tension and some stuff going on. What's on your mind today? Let us decide. Spirit, speak to us on behalf of our Aquarius family. Let's find out what's going on and growing on their path. Worthiness. Worthiness. What are you thinking about? What are you exploring? Some lacking there. You're weighing your pros and cons and trying to figure out your value. You're in this mode right now. Release. Release. What's on your mind? What are you trying to do? What are you measuring? What's value to you? What? You're looking at harvest. You're waiting for something to come in for you. You're reflecting on a lot. You're in deep concentration right now. Something is going on. Somebody may have said something to you that made you think. Ooh. Look at that. Balance. You realize something is happening right now. You're working on a project that's supposed to bring in benefits for you. And you're waiting for that to come out, to manifest. Feel that there's people lurking in the shadows, that there's hidden things that you've done as well. And you're reflecting on what you've done. And you just realizing maybe you did too much this way, didn't do enough that way, and there's people that feel neglected in your life and that you didn't live up to your promise. So you're looking at everything right now. Did you step wrong, incorrectly? And you just want balance. You want to make things right in life, so that people in your life don't look at you as though you weren't there for them. You have an attitude sometimes where you don't care. And now it's starting to reflect, because all that you have done was in the shadows. But now you're realizing that you didn't do things the right way. It's like a reckoning with yourself. You're pulling and tugging, and you're seeing things from different angles, whereas you usually look at it just from one way. This is what you feel, this is your perspective. Oh well. But now you're realizing the damages you may have caused along the way, and you're looking at yourself and seeing what you may have done wrong. You're actually listening to people, and they're telling you how they felt with certain things. And you never looked at it from that angle, because you know you're very opinionated. But now when you step back and you're looking at everything, you're realizing, let's say, for example, if you have kids, and maybe is, different mother, different father, and you're realizing that you may have done more for one than the other. And you're thinking about everything, and you look, and it's like looking in the mirror and realizing, hey, I wasn't completely doing it the right way at this time. I never looked at it from this angle before. Maybe there was favoritism. You didn't look at the big picture. You looked at it from one lens. But now, as you're reflecting and you're looking at everything, you're realizing, hey, I didn't do this completely right. I see myself doing it better. It's like you have this reckoning, and it's showing you that the reason all of this is coming at you at the same time, and the reason you feel that you have to weigh everything, is because you now realize, maybe I didn't do it this way, or I should have done it this way. I should have been inclusive. I should have did that. I shoulda. But when you come to this point right now, you say, okay, I am realizing that my approach may have been a little off kilter. What could I do to make it better? First, I got to seek balance. I have to seek balance and realize you put everything on the table and you're looking at it from different angles rather than just making a harsh decision. Nobody is ever too old to learn new things. Life is about learning, and learning could be a daily lesson. The thing is, to never come into fruition, it would never happen. You have to be able to think everything through and not act in haste, which is crucial. Don't act in haste. Think everything through. You have support. You're getting into your alignment in the realm where you're wanting to know, what could I do to improve myself, to balance out my life, so I can see things on a wider scale and think from a different perspective. What did I do wrong here? What could I do better here? What do I need to do? Before, you didn't care about the answers. You just did it. Now, you're looking at everything, pros and cons. And am I fair? Am I treating this one right? This is a good point in life for you, because it's like you realize that there's some errors. Some things you may not have done completely the way you should. Wow. Aquarius, look at this card. New beginning. This is where you're realizing this is really great. You're starting over, and you're on a new scale, a new alignment, a breath of fresh air. People are shocked because you actually care and you're actually listening, because you're realizing your truth. You're realizing that you got to do things differently. You're starting new. You can't keep repeating the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. What do they call that? Insanity. And this, people got to give you kudos. You got to give yourself kudos, because normally you're not that deep. You go in your own world, in your own realm, and you see things the way you see it. Now you're listening a little bit to other people to hear how they feel. You don't want them to bury you with everything, but your ears are opening up and you're listening to somebody else's voice beside your own. Can't just live with your own voice. You got to listen. You got to learn. Wow. Spiritual abundance. This is complete growth, a complete turnaround. I'm feeling this vibration of uplifting. It's like you're making better choices. You're looking at things from other angles. You're not automatically putting folks down because they don't agree with you. You wanted more. It's simple as that. So that's why they focus on your worthiness. Your angels are releasing the information to you to let you know, in order for you to get to the next phase of life, you have to think beyond. This is growth and beyond. This is you figuring out what you need to fix, what you need to work on, what's something that people have constantly said to you. Think about it like this. This is maybe a bad example, but just think of it like this. There's this guy, I used to tell him all the time, you need a stronger deodorant. I'm telling you, seriously. And he would just brush it off. Oh, his deodorant is fine, this and that. And he started a new job. And people were staying a little distant from him, and he didn't understand. He thought, he see other people gather around their friends and they're talking, and other new people came in and they embraced them. What was different for him? And he started feeling conscious. It was like, why are people acting like that? And they always stand at a distance. And he went and he was talking to one of the new guys, and he asked the guy, he said, let me ask you something. Did you hear anything? It's like people are acting funny with me and stuff like that. And the guy just turned his head and stuff, and he said, tell me what's going on. He said, I don't want you to get offended, but there's this, I don't know if it's perspiration or odor or something that comes from you, and everybody's just backing off. And he was like, what? He said, it's like you smell a little. And he couldn't believe it, because he never thought along that, no matter how many times somebody might have said it to him or mentioned it. And then he realized that he stunk. But it took him going to this new workplace and people's actions toward him for him to realize that maybe whoever told him about the deodorant issue wasn't lying. And he changed his deodorant, made sure all his clothes were washed properly, because this is a new job. And he's doing fine now, but it took someone else's perspective for him to realize that what other people may have said before was actually true. Sometimes people don't know. You would say, oh, I think you should know if you smell. You would think. But not enough people had approached him to make him sway to realize this deodorant thing, or whether you wore some or you didn't wear some, now it's affecting people you work with. And he realized something had to give, something had to change. Sometimes people don't wake up until they hear someone else's voice be clear and concise and see the actions of other people. It was a wake-up call for him. You are going through a wake-up phase right now yourself, because you only listen to yourself. And now you realize it's important to hear what other people have to say. We don't live in the world by ourselves. I know people call you eccentric, say you're just plain crazy. But this time, this phase in your life, you're realizing that sometimes people have other things that are important to say. And, you're realizing that, let me listen. I don't have all the answers. None of us do. But we have to value insight and intuition. He picked up on the vibration. You're picking up on vibrations and realizing that for a long time you didn't want to hear what anybody else had to say, because you believe yourself to have all the answers. And you only saw things through your lens. You can't be like that. You have to listen so you can learn. I'm not saying every time somebody says something, you just follow what they say. That's not your thing. That's not your cup of tea. But you have to be willing to learn. You don't have all the answers. They say in our lifetime, your brain can't compose everything. There's some things going to be left out. Some ideas are not going to be shared. But you do the best that you can, and you learn, and you listen, and you grow. You want to flap those wings? Look at that. You want to flap those wings for new beginnings? New beginnings? Come on. You want those things to happen in your life? You have to be willing to learn. None of us, listen to me, none of us have all the answers. And it shows you here, even with the world, how you're exploring. And Hierophant, as a teacher, you can teach different things. Happens in the classroom? The teacher learns just as well as she teaches. Just as well as she teaches. And that's what has to happen to you. You're in the classroom right now. You're going through the process. You're looking at different opportunities. You're weighing your pros and cons. You're starting off new. Like the past is the past. You're learning and growing and you're yearning for this knowledge. You're hungry for it. But you have to be willing to receive it, because there's going to be many twists and turns. And you look at things and it was just narrow-minded in the sense that, okay, this is how I'm doing it, this is how it's going to be, and that's it. Now you're saying, well, what do you think about it? You know, normally you don't care. But now you do. Because you believe that this phase of your life is a phase for growth. And you're embarking on so many new opportunities, so many lessons. It's like the world is mine and now I got to tackle it. There's got to be a point in life where we slow down and we listen. Now, you're not going to follow each and everything, but life could be easier rather than reinventing the wheel, where you take the time out to hear the voices of other people. What do you have to say about this? You know, what instructions or directions do you have? You're listening to learn. You can't always be the only voice in the room. You have to open up your mind. You have to open up your ears. And you have to listen from other perspectives in life. Sometimes people got important things to say, but if you're always blocking it out, you never hear it. And you close yourself off from growth. Don't give up on yourself. And recognize this, you have a new opportunity to do things a different way. And still be your eccentric self, but now you're allowing not for your voice to be the only one in the room. You're learning that other people have important things to say too. Other people have important things to say too. And when you're looking at it in reverse, even with the Five of Cups, you got the Hierophant, you got the World. You have always just closed yourself off and thinking on one scale with your creative ideas. But you're recognizing now that other people could help you to expand on your ideas so that you can grow. You're opening up to listen. You're not just cutting it off. You're opening up for your own growth. And it's like your ancestors are talking to you. You feel this spiritual growth where you're realizing that there's more to life. There's more to life. And you are working on being your best self for that inner peace. Take the time that you need and focus on every stage, because you're having the opportunity to have a new beginning. What does a new beginning mean to you? You want to be worthy. because you felt that lacking. That inner peace was oblivious to what was going on. You just was existing and doing things the way you saw fit, but still not meeting the mark. But now that you're starting to expand, you're starting to listen, you're starting to grow, you're testing different cycles of life. This is a good opportunity for you to be able to validate through the eyes of others, even though you don't need validation from other people. People that are close to you in your life that are sharing their perspective with you. And remember, you don't have to follow everything, but you want ideas thrown at you so you could elaborate further because you're very creative. But that creativity with people coming together, you learning from each other, this is the extra spice that you needed to reach your goals and to feel worthy of this transformational phase. Don't allow obstacles to block your ears, block your eyes from seeing and hearing. When you are learning and you're going through this phase, you're learning. You're learning as well as teaching. So that collaboration together can expand on the growth process for you. It can show you. That's why you have that spiritual support. You see? All the different angles to learn. You see other people. It's like you're meshing with society, but you're looking through not just your lens, but the lens of other people. You're looking through a lens which shows you what you want, as well as a lens that shows you how other people think. And then you collaborate and put the two together and make up your mind what you want to do, how you want to proceed forward. You're not closing yourself off from other people. I see you moving forward. And you're coming out of your comfort zone. You know what that means? It means that your intuition is allowing you to spread your wings. And it's not just one-sided, narrow-minded. It's expansion. There's growth and opportunities coming for you. You're ready to take hold. And you're listening. You're listening. You're learning from other people as well. And you're like, that's an aha moment where it's like, dang, I never thought of it like this. Wow. Man, if I'd have done it this way, it might have been easier for me. I wouldn't have had to go through such a long, drawn-out process. That's what learning is all about. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. You could create upon what you already know and gain knowledge from other people as well. Be able to receive the messages and elaborate further. And with your creative juices, everything is going to fall in place for you because it's showing the growth. It's showing the learning. It's showing the spiritual support. It's showing that the world is yours. You just have to expand on it. It's okay to learn. You don't have all the answers. None of us do. But if we're willing to embrace the lessons and decipher from the messages that were taught to us, growth is evident. Keep learning, keep growing, and don't limit or restrict your expansion. Sometimes we could be our worst enemies. Learn. You don't have all the answers. So be willing to grow and learn, and you'll get the support that you need. And most important, seek that balance in your life. Seek balance in your life. Don't do too much of one thing. Okay? Garnetqueentarot here saying, be inspired to rise. Be inspired to be your best self. Don't close people off. Don't shut down thinking that there's only one way to do something. Be willing to collaborate with other people and learn, and still be creative and do things the way you like. Just make the job easier for yourself and be willing to listen. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for spending your time with us. This is about growth and beyond, without limitation. Take care. Talk soon.